we continue our discussion about elderly drivers and whether they should be retested, I would like to take a moment to focus on the role of caregivers, including family members, in these situations. How does one even approach a loved one with a conversation about their driving ability? Together, we will explore the unique responsibilities and even challenges caregivers, including family members, face when looking into the safety of the ones they love on the road. As people get older, it's extremely important to not only consider the safety of elderly drivers, but also the impact caregivers and family members face, as they are often the first to notice changes in the driving abilities of their loved ones. Caregivers not only provide day-to-day care for elderly drivers, but they also observe implications that may lead to possible harm. In the first section, I'll explore the 6 ways caregivers and family members can help address issues with elderly drivers before it can become too much of an issue to harm the driver and others on the road. There are many ways to approach issues with an elder driver, but not all are equally effective. That's why I'll be starting with 2 of the most impactful tools: monitoring driving abilities and maintaining open communication. First, I'd like to start off by reading 2 quotes from the article, "The Crucial Role of Family and Caregivers in Empowering Senior Driving Independence" by the author Jenny. She states, "Family members and caregivers should pay attention to any signs of decline or difficulty, such as decreased reaction times, difficulty with maneuvering, or an increase in near misses or accidents." Now, implementing regular monitorization of driving abilities is crucial when talking about this topic. By observing signs such as slower reaction times, near misses, or difficulty maneuvering, caregivers are able to catch signs of decline early. This approach allows time for discussions about retesting or even changes to ensure safety, instead of waiting for an accident to occur. Now, this next quote states, "Caregivers should create a supportive environment where seniors feel comfortable discussing any challenges they may be experiencing on the road." Now, this came from Jenny's Maintaining Open Communication section. Maintaining open communication is essential when the topic "should elderly drivers be retested" is mentioned. When a supportive and respectful environment is created, it allows for the seniors to be open about their driving challenges. When this type of trust is formed, the idea of retesting is used as a positive step forward rather than something possibly negative. Once we start paying attention to driving skills and begin to have those honest conversations, what's next? Well, it is also the caregiver's role to support safe driving practices right now and also make sure there's an alternative plan for transportation when driving is not the best option. One of the caregiver's main roles is to help the senior driver stay on the road safely for as long as possible. According to the text, things such as reminders to keep your seatbelt on, to put your phone away, and follow traffic laws are all strategies to reinforce smart and safe habits. Being realistic with a topic like this is also needed because no one will drive forever. The text shows that caregivers can also look into things like ride-sharing services, public bus routes, or even community-based transportation services. Although they aren't driving, these options allow them to maintain their independence as they can access this themselves. These 2 points are crucial because it shows how important it is to encourage these older drivers to be safe in order to ensure everyone is safe. Encouraging safe driving practices will help these drivers stay on the road longer, helping them maintain their independence. Meanwhile, alternative transportation options ensure when driving is no longer an option that the transition will be smooth. Now, I want to expand a little more on the alternative transportation options and affordability, specifically bus fares. In Colorado, for the elderly, one-way fares range from as low as 60 cents to $1.75, and day passes range from $3.75 to $5.50. With this being said, affordability shouldn't be a problem as public transportation discounts the elderly. Following safe driving practices and alternative transportation options, the final steps are advocacy and assistance. Things such as driving evaluations, license renewals, and transportation can be very stressful for the elderly. According to the text, caregivers can step in acting as advocates and offering support to make this process easier. The points of advocacy and assistance allow the caregivers to help reduce as much stress as possible on the elderly. Without this, retesting will feel like it's some type of threat towards the elderly's independence, while in reality, it's for the well-being of everyone. As I wrap up this conversation about the 6 ways caregivers, including family members, can address the elderly drivers, I want to move into statistics about a study. The article "Physician and Family Discussions About Driving Safety: Findings from the Long Road Study" explores how often older drivers engage in conversation about things like driving safety with other family members or caregivers. To look into these ideas, a study was conducted which included 2,990 people aged 65 through 79. Results from this study found that out of these 2,990 people, 14.2% had discussed driving safety with their family members, and just 5.5% of them had conversations with their physicians. With these results, caregivers and family members are shown to be very underutilized when talking about driving safety with older drivers on the road. The article then goes on to show how involvement from family and caregiver side of the topic will be beneficial to everyone's safety. This study puts into perspective how little discussion occurs between caregivers, including family members. The study only included 2,990 people, so we can only imagine how low the percent would be if all elderly drivers were accounted for. In conclusion, at the end of the day, deciding whether elderly drivers should be retested or not shouldn't be limited to one group of people, but it needs to include all who care for the well-being of others. This is why caregivers, including family members, are crucial in this conversation, as they are the ones in the front line of this action. After hearing all this information about caregivers, what do you all think? Should elderly drivers be retested? Well, stay tuned, as next episode, Robbie will be talking about doctor's perspective here on Golden Years Driving Fears, the retesting conversation.